sure. Woo! What time is it? It's game time. It is Sun City Leatherheads podcast time. Woo, Danny, man, my internet be wigging out. I don't know if it's a tower or something. My modem was blinking orange. I had to reset it. Man, Sammy, I apologize. I have a few more questions, but now it looks like the connection is a bit better. My gosh, we're gonna have to do a 2.0 version with her, but man, how tragic. Yeah, maybe El Paso's finest driving hit a Wi-Fi tower, Danny, or something, because that was ridiculous. Yeah, here we go. This is the second part of the episode of today. We're gonna talk about the reviews, the breaking news, all that good stuff, and how we doing after we get everything situated.
If now I know exactly what it feels like to work for CNN, right? And being those awkward commentators or hosts, news anchors, waiting for a response from their
They're
correspondent.
waiting.
Um, exactly.
Oh my god!
But yeah, no. Other than that, it was a lot of fun to
Like
do that
it was
episode.
like
It
yeah, it
was
was like if I was like it was like if I was like overseas and I was like breaking news, Godzilla's coming. Like it was ridiculous.
yeah. We'll get it better next time. So, but nonetheless, it was still fun to interview Sammy and get to know her, hear more about her fandom from the Dallas Cowboys, being a Dallas Cowboys fan. You guys shared a lot of similarities, but if there's any Cowboys fans tuning into our episode right now, please give that a listen to check that out. It was a really good interview with Slam and Sammy.
Yeah, it was awesome, and yeah, it was crazy. Like you said, like we were pretty much on point on some of the things that she looks at the Cowboys and going forward and all that good stuff. And man, Danny, let's you want to get down to breaking news, Danny?
Let's do it.
There's a big one in Atlanta.
Yeah, boy.
Falcons are taking dives here. So 17 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, Danny, to start the season, and then one touchdown to 9 interceptions as of late. Kirk Cousins
Ouch.
started out super hot. I know it's so wild, and then all of a sudden, just that Falcon got clipped in the air or something, and I don't know what's happening. And like I've always said, can a defensive-minded coach rally the offense and collect them and unify them when things start falling apart? Because it's really hard to unify an offense if it's going to be that type of way. And a few head coaches, Danny, even like Dennis Allen this year, as soon as his offense started to collapse, what happened? It's like, dude,
Hmm.
we're cutting our ties because this has happened several times the past few years. Like we're out. So now the Atlanta Falcons turn to Michael Penix Jr., which was the surprise pick in the first round for sure. In the NFL draft of 2024, they start him this coming Sunday. How do you think, Danny? What happens if he loses?
Michael Penix. I
Yes,
mean, they're asking a lot from him already. I mean, they're and
right,
could have started him
exactly,
week one, right? They could have started him week one and said,
right.
okay, earn your reps here. You'll grow. But now you're putting him in fire per se, right? For lack of better words, like they're throwing him into the fire and expecting him to contribute to wins when they're in a clear playoff race right now. They can't afford to lose anymore. So it's a lot to put on, a lot of pressure to put on a rookie. But you know what? I have faith that he's capable. He's talented. He has the ability to really make that offense kind of take another step, right? Because they've been looking pretty bad with Kirk Cousins. He's turned the ball over too much. And then he can't find this good rapport with Darnell Mooney, with Drake London. So hopefully, maybe with Michael Penix, he'll be able to develop that chemistry with those receivers. And then also, he's a more mobile quarterback, so maybe it may help with not taking sacks here and there. So I'm hoping for the best, but it's a long shot. I mean, he's gonna have to learn quick.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a live lesson for everybody, right? Like, what? Yeah, what happens if he tumbles? Would you go back? Do you go straight back to Kirk Cousins, or what's happening? Because you're playing the Giants, and if you lose to the Giants, that's I mean, a bigger mess than a melting pot on a in the desert of Iraq. I mean, like, there's no reason why you should lose to this team, but if you do, and you went to the young quarterback, people, this might what sucks is that Raheem Morris might be one of those one and done coaches just because of this move. People will
Yeah.
like freak out, panic, and then he'll be one and done. And yeah, it's crazy. So there's that, and then so Danny, I guess the trend now is if you're an next player, become a either a high school or college coach, and then maybe blossom into the NFL because Jason Witten, of course, Deion Sanders started doing college coaching, back-to-back state championships for Texas, and now you got Sacramento State hiring Michael Vick as their head coach. How do you feel about
Yeah.
that?
No, it wasn't. Was it Sacramento State? I thought it was somebody else. I could have. I thought it was like Norfolk or something like that. Sacramento
Well,
State.
I
Now
don't
you
know.
got me.
Maybe
Let's see. I could
well,
have
it says
sworn
Sacramento
it was
State
a.
right here on Adam Schefter, so that's his fault if it's maybe someone else hired him. But I
Yeah,
kind
it
of
says
remember your name, Florogue or something, because Sacramento State
yeah.
was on Adam Schefter right now.
It's Norfolk State
I saw it
University.
earlier on. Okay, so wow, so he changed ship, I guess. But
No,
yeah, so I
maybe
guess several teams
maybe I think you're confused with Teddy Bridgewater. I think his
because
was
Adam
like
Schefter has Sacramento State on his page.
maybe he was thinking of Bridgewater because I know that he.
Oh, look. Well, yeah, maybe because Bridgewater. Well, Bridgewater was in high school though. This is college. See,
Yeah,
Danny,
I
look.
know, but I.
Wait, is it this one?
Oh,
Adam
okay, yeah.
Schefter.
I don't know. Maybe he copy
It's
and pasted
wild.
the wrong, the wrong school. But yeah, it's Norfolk
Yeah,
State, which is in Virginia, where he's from. So can't count on these Adam Schefter,
right. Yeah,
Ian
that's what I was
Rappaport
assuming
guys.
that it would be closer to his homeland. But yeah, that was. I know, man. What is going on? What is going on today? Like my internet. Now we got Adam Shefty being Shefty and like sheftiness on our news. Like what's going on now? But
Yeah,
yeah. So okay. So back to the point was like, yeah, a lot of football players, ex players are becoming coaches now. And how do you? I mean, hopefully it works out for him.
yeah. I think it's gonna be kind of like the whole Dion thing, right? Who's gonna not want to go and accept a scholarship to go play for Michael Vick? I think he's an iconic guy. He's an iconic player, and especially if you're a quarterback, why wouldn't you want to learn from him, right? So maybe this will help with recruiting. Maybe he'll have some success there. But you root for these guys, right? Starting off in these smaller schools, and hopefully, he can advance and go to like a Division 1 school, or Power 5 conference, kind of like what Dion did. But or I don't think Colorado's a Power 5
Right.
conference, but still, yeah, you want to see him kind of elevate through the game.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's unique and it's becoming a trend. It looks like so. We'll see how that goes, and all the best to Michael Vick. And plus, now he leaves the Fox studio, so there's that too.
Yeah.
So that they're gonna have an open. And the
Eh,
Saints, Danny, we're talking about fall from grace from Carson Wentz, and so many players that that just that had the ceiling of potential, and then it just kind of come crashing down. The Saints signed former Chiefs and running back Clyde Edward-Helaire to their practice
Mm-hmm.
squad. Remember, he was supposed to be the guy. Like just a few years ago, like he
Yeah.
was the man, and now he's on a practice squad for a team that can't even get a damn win. So that's crazy.
And that's why the NFL stands for not for long, right? That's what that means. I know that Clyde Edwards-Helaire was supposed to be the replacement to Kareem Hunt, and that never happened. He got hurt with injuries. His stature wasn't able to be able to handle all those big hits. Right, the NFL is um, a more aggressive sport than it is at the college level. So I think he never really developed into what they thought he was gonna be as a first round pick. But they found their guy, right? They got Isaiah Pacheco, and maybe Isaiah Pacheco is going to be, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire later down the line in a couple years, where, he's banged up a little bit, and they go with the new shiny
Right.
toy, in the running back position, because that's what you know. Andy Reid is known for, right? He doesn't stick with his running backs for long. He knows how to maximize them, and then he moves on to the next best thing. And that's going back all the way to Philadelphia
Not Jerry.
Eagles. Yeah, not Jerry.
Yeah, yeah, not Jerry Jones. Let's bring them back while they're beat up already. Jesus.
Yeah,
But
let's pay him a third
yeah,
contract.
it's a wild thing. So wild. But yeah, it's crazy to see that Edwards Alaire, like Pacheco, and then the crocodile hunter. What the guy that owns a crocodile?
Oh
What's
yeah.
his? He's the
Mm-hmm.
backup. He
Carson Steele, no?
he looks good. He's got some fumble issues, but yeah, he's got a cool name. He's got a football name for sure. Carson Steele, crocodile by day, and then football player. So Danny, Buda Baker's safety, the stud safety for where your homeland is right now, the Arizona Cardinals, they signed him to a 3-year, 54 million contract extension. 30 million guaranteed for a safety. That is awesome. Good for him. But he's
Yeah,
earned
well
it. He is
deserved.
one of the best safeties ever. And it's so crazy when he plays the Cowboys too, just like Randy Moss, right? Like he's like, man, I wanted to be a Cowboy, and they had a chance to get me, and they didn't pick me, so I'm gonna make their life a living hell every time I play them. And oh man, he beat our ass last year for sure. Sheesh. So the Commanders, Danny, opened the 21-day practice window for Jonathan Allen. So they're trying to get healthy to make that awesome playoff push and see how they can get there and see where
Hey,
they can end up right in the playoffs. And of course, everyone wants to go to the Super Bowl. So I still think they're about a year or two away.
the Commanders got lucky this past weekend. They should have
Go ahead,
lost to the Saints.
dude. Danny, how many times have I been so mad at coaches that just lose on this stupidity? You have the momentum and probably beat them in overtime, and then
Hmm.
yet they still do this. Like how stupid. Like you said, they should have lost. Hands down, they should have lost. Uh speaking of losing, Danny, with Machome's getting hurt, that was an outright but yeah, how do you think the Chiefs are going to do and manage his ankle?
I think I can recall like the last 3 years, he's always gotten hurt around this time frame where they're about to go into the playoffs, and they just bandage him up and tape it up and do all of that stuff, and he still is able to perform. But the only difference from this year to those years is that he actually had a supporting cast around him, right? He was actually scoring points. This year it's been kind of hard for them to score. So now if they have a banged up Mahomes and they're already struggling to score, I don't know how that's gonna work. Especially the Bills are looking really hot
Right.
right now. They're looking dangerous right now. And you also have to go up against like the Texans this weekend, so we'll get a good indication of how well they'll be able to perform against those solid teams going to the playoffs. But if I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan right now, even though I have probably the best record in the league right now, I would be really worried about us going into the playoffs.
And what's crazy, Danny? What another sneaky team that won't get a first round bye, won't be the first seed, but they can knock the damn Chiefs off of that seed, and they play them the last week of the season, and that's the Denver Broncos. And they should have beat them the first time, and then what if they beat them the second time because they can't score? And then yeah, they could lose at least two out of 3 games. I don't know who they play next week, but they possibly can lose 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, I think that's why I was so excited to come on to today's podcast, because there's a lot of playoff implications going into this last couple of weeks of the season that will put people in tough position, like the Chiefs, right? If the
Oh
Chiefs
man.
if the Chiefs lose here, they can lose that number one spot to the Bills, right? Or for example, in the AFC, I believe in the
Hmm.
no, the AFC West is already kind of locked up I mean, they're too far ahead of the Broncos right now. But I was looking like at the Steelers, right? The AFC North. The
Right.
Steelers losing this past week really hurt them because now they're a game away from the Ravens, or Ravens are a game away from them. So if the Steelers continue to lose, the Ravens will take the
Right.
AFC North. There's just a lot of things that can happen from now until then.
Right.
You look at the NFC side, right? The NFC side, you have the Bucks and the Falcons going toe to toe. We talked about Penix already, but there's just a lot of really close races. And then the NFC North, right? We already ready to give the Lions the number one pick, but they've been banged up, right? We heard about all the injuries coming out of this past game.
Jeez.
So now if they lose a couple more games, the Vikings can take that number one spot, which is really surprising to hear at this point.
And Danny, what's crazy, you're having injuries and you have the coach that double gambles. So I'm like, man, does that really come down and curse them again in the playoffs? Like, does it trickle down to where it screws them over again because they gamble too much, and then there goes another year that the Lions become the Lions and they just can't get over that hump. So that's kind of
Yep.
worrisome too. As long as the damn Eagles and Chiefs don't make the Super Bowl again, I'll be ecstatic. So that's all I want from the AFC and AFC at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm rooting for
But
sure. I don't want to see. I don't want to see them go to the Super Bowl again. I want to see somebody new, somebody fresh that we're not
right,
used to seeing at the big game, right?
new blood, and there's a lot of teams that can do it this year. So I'm like, I'm praying and hoping. Sheesh. But yeah, man. So that's breaking news. It's not a lot, obviously, but there's a lot of implications. You mentioned the Steelers and Ravens, and I believe they play this week. So that's gonna be a telltale sign of where things might end up.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun to see how everything kind of shapes up. And now we get Saturday football,
Absolutely.
which is gonna be different, right? We get Saturday football, we get holiday football, we get football on Netflix, which is really weird to say, but it's gonna be a
Uh,
lot of fun.
I don't like it because what if it like glitches and it acts dumb again like it did the boxing match with the
I know.
a retired guy that shouldn't be out there because he almost died, and then a guy that's just there to make the money. But it is what it is. That's what the life we live in, right? Anyone wants to be entertained, so they'll chime into anything. So
Yep.
yeah, man. So they got some good. We have quite a few good games. Like I mean, this is probably going to be the week that says it all. That the cowboy, like these cowboy hallucinogen fans that hallucinate over and over and over, and the Bucks are going to come in and probably try to steamroll us to no end, and it's going to be finally done, and then put the nail in the coffin to the people that believe that we're going to make the playoffs, but we're not. Oh, little Puka's out. Whoop whoop, Puka.
I have a guest with me.
She's free. Oh, look
Yeah.
at her.
Go ahead, mommy. But
But
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of
yeah,
fun.
man, there's a lot of things. Yep. Speaking of that, let's see how much fun it is going to be, Danny, with our game picks.
Let's do it. All right. Let me bring it up real
Hey, how
quick.
did we do last week? You probably won
Oh,
again. Jesus.
I did by one game. So you had
And if I
one,
would have chose
two,
the
three.
Cowboys, oh my god.
You had five losses. No, I'm sorry. One, two, three. Yeah, five losses. I had one, two, three, three losses. So beat you by 2 games there. But yeah, you took a lot of gambles last week. You picked
Damn it.
you picked Cleveland over Kansas City. You picked uh Jacksonville over New York
Carolina over
Jets.
Dallas.
Carolina over Dallas. Yep. And then we both picked Pittsburgh,
Yeah,
but
because I
they let us down.
I need to come. I need to make a comeback. But and then if I should have just picked the damn Cowboys because I was like, well, they're the better team and whatever. But still, oh my god, how tragic! Ah.
Yeah, they dominated the
Yeah, I did a lot of
Panthers.
upsets.
Let me bring up the
All
schedule real
right, let's
quick.
see. Game one.
All right, can you see my screen? Is it up? Yep, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, better than my internet. That's for sure. Man, this Thursday game is going to say a lot to where teams go right here from the jump.
Yeah.
Because
Sorry.
Broncos might jump the Chargers in the playoff spot. They're both in the
Yeah,
playoffs
and
right now, but yeah, you don't want to be the one that gets all the way to the bottom.
yeah, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't help that you know, Herbert got hurt this past game. Well, he's been hurt these last two games, right? But I think
I know,
he
man.
re-injured that ankle, and it's coming at the worst time possible, right? They're already low or really weak at the running back position, and then you can't really trust your receivers. I mean, Quentin Johnston had a really good game last week, but from what we've seen, right, from history, like he has one good game and then he has a lot of drops the next game. So he really is going to need his supporting cast to bail him out, and really make some big plays coming up in these next couple of games.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, the Broncos are peaking right now, so it's going to be
And
tough.
Johnson needs to figure out his Johnson for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
My my boys right here, because I love both of them and I root for them because they're my Oregon Duck alumni. As much as it hurts me, Danny, and you know who I love the most, but he's gonna lose this week because of injuries and, like you said, Johnson is inconsistent, and the Broncos defense is just amazing right now. I'm going the Denver Broncos upset the Chargers at home. The Chargers beat Denver earlier in Denver, but that was when everyone was still learning each other in Denver. But now Denver's got it going on and they know each other. So yeah, I think Denver gets the upset win here.
I wouldn't even call it an upset. I think from what we've seen the last couple of weeks, right, in their
True.
progression, I think that they've reached a point where they're all meshing well, right? The defense is playing fast. They're getting to the football. I mean, I had never even heard of Nick Benito, and this year he's like one of the sack leaders. So you can just see how comfortable they
Yeah.
are on that defense. And then as far as Bo Nix goes, he didn't play that well last week, but he's gonna bounce back. And if they can keep him
Right.
upright, which I think they will, I think the Denver Broncos will win this game.
So yeah, he's definitely not Benito anybody else anymore. Like he's higher than a lot of people. He's not Benito anymore. See, he's kicking. He's killing.
That he is. All right.
Ooh, Danny,
I'm
we
liking
we
these Saturday
two of the
matchups.
games. Right. We just talked about them and how they're going to impact a lot of things. So, Houston and Kansas City, Danny, who are you riding with Saturday?
You know what? The only thing that I'm bummed out about is that it's on Saturday, and aren't there some college football playoffs this Saturday? I think Ohio State plays on Saturday night.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
And like Texas, Notre Dame plays Friday, I
Friday,
think.
yeah, yeah. So it
That's
sucks that
so
we're gonna have
wild.
to double stream games, but hey, it is what it is. At least we have football to watch, right? But
Yes.
this one's tough, man. Like I've told you, like last week and I think the week before that, that the Texans have probably been the most disappointing team for me this year. I would think we hyped them up, expecting good
Right.
things, expecting them to be probably as good as the Lions have been in the NFC, and that just hasn't been the case. Yes, they've had injuries, but it just doesn't seem like they can overcome those injuries. Nonetheless, though, I
And
still think go for it. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say you picked against them last week because of this.
Yeah, I did. But I think that with Kansas City
But
or
you're right.
Mahomes,
Consistency is ridiculous.
yeah, I mean it's so up and down. It's just crazy. You can't trust them, and especially going to playoffs. I mean you don't know what team you're gonna get, right? Um,
Right.
but I think with Patrick Mahomes being hurt, I think hopefully this motivates the defense to really rush him really well, get to him and make his life more difficult than it has to be on one leg. and I think the Texans need to continue winning. They can't afford to keep losing, because I mean they're up in their division. I don't know by how many games right now, but I think three, if I remember correctly. But still, you don't want to make it more closer than it has to be, right? So I think the Texans will be a little bit more motivated here with this game, and will make it tough for Mahomes to have a really good game. And they will keep it close.
So you're going with who?
Houston.
All right. Well, you know I'm gonna go against Machomies and that bum leg. He's a bum, Rock. You're a bum. It's gonna be Houston. Get that finally. The Chiefs are gonna come down to reality, especially these injuries are gonna start adding up. And yeah, if you can't score points on a good leg or both two good legs, then I mean it's gonna be tough trying to score. If they outscore Houston this game, then Houston definitely needs to do a reality check for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Okay, so
So the next game,
I was gonna say
go ahead.
I thought these were late games, but they're early. They're Saturday's games at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time,
Right.
and the Steelers Ravens is 2:30. I don't know why I thought it was gonna be like Saturday night games, so that works out then.
Maybe they did that because of the college playoff.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably good for them. They're smart.
Good, yeah, good for all of us because like now we don't have to like die and be like no. But
Yeah.
so the next game, Danny, another big implication. Like first three games are just going to be very very impactful going forward in the playoff tree. And what's
Hmm.
crazy is Pittsburgh got the benefit of Baltimore earlier, but I think it flips. I think Baltimore is going to get the benefit over Pittsburgh this time, and
I
I think
agree.
Baltimore wins at home.
I'm with you right then and there. And then they're always known to split these games, right? They play themselves really difficult and hard sometimes, that they know each other very well, right? Given that they're division rivals, but
Right.
they're always splitting these games in a season. So I think the way that the Steelers beat them last time, I expect a different outcome here. And they looked good last week. Like they dominated those Giants. And not a surprise, right? The Giants are who we thought they are. Um, but I think with the Ravens, I think they're going to be it being a division opponent, them wanting to take, you know, sole possession of the AFC North. I think they'll be ready to play here at home.
Yes, sir. All right, Danny, we're talking about the Giants and Michael Penix. Who do you got there, Danny?
Oh, Jay, this one I'm gonna go with the Falcons. Right? It's easy. It's easy to pick them, and even with a rookie quarterback, it's gonna be I think a pretty easy win for the Falcons. They look good on defense this past Monday night against the Raiders, and I expect that to continue to this game. But the reason why I sighed before before answering this question here is because I'm in my fantasy football semifinal, and I have Caleb Williams or Michael Penix that I just picked up, and I don't know who to start. I don't trust Caleb Williams enough against the Lions right now because he's so up and down too. But then Michael
Dude.
Penix has an opportunity to light up the Giants, and I don't know. I've never seen him play, so I don't know what to do.
So if you're a rookie quarterback and your team's trying to figure out what the hell they're trying to do with the team that just is desperate just to get one win to get that monkey off their back because they've been close. Other than last week, they've been kind of at least competitive, right? So now you're getting a rookie quarterback. You never seen what's going on. If they stumble, which is a defensive coach's possible outcome, I'm going with the New York Football Giants, Danny, to get this upset win because I think
Wow,
the Giants defense will help the offense get some points because they'll turn over the ball.
interesting. If this happens, Jay, if that happens, that's the outcome of this game. I think Raheem Morris is out. He'll be one and done because that would be a major disappointment in the thick of a playoff race to
Right.
lose to the 2-12 Giants.
But it sounds so good that it might happen because players are players. Like they're you and I when we go out and play ball, with all our boys back then at football or basketball, or whatever, even if we weren't the best team playing another squad that we just randomly met, what was our thing? Like, we're not gonna get bullied, and we're gonna throw punches until we finally lose, right? And
Yep.
that's the same thing with football. You saw Michael Part. We should have beat the Bengals, right? Like, let's just be fair. Like, one stupid guy decided to try to get the block punt, which he could have just let the ball go, and we would have had the ball, killed the clock, we win the game. Well, you saw Michael Parsons animated, like, what in the are we doing? Like, how did we lose this way? And it's the same thing with the Giants, right? Like, the neighbors, the Kayvon Thibodeau's, like, they're tired of seeing this over and over and over. Something's got to give. And what's better for you is that you have a rookie quarterback who doesn't know shit about the NFL yet, who's about to get sprung in there. Like, let's go hunt and see if we can't pull this off.
Yeah. You have a point. I mean, it's the NFL, right? You never know what's gonna happen. But yeah, that would be
Right.
shocking to me.
And then the next one, Danny, that's even, yeah.
Go
Oh
for it.
man, these next the sorry. Yeah, we started talking at the same time. But they're going back to, like you said, if that happens, that's gonna be crazy. And then the second one, right after, Scramble Gamble and the Panthers, that could be another upset special too, because Scramble Gamble is so damn inconsistent.
Yeah. Yeah, he's another frustrating player. I've told you this before. I hate watching him play because one week he'll look really
Right.
good, and then the next week he'll look like he deserves to play high school football. Um, I think this game is false. It gives the Arizona Cardinals fans false hope, right? Because right now in these last couple of weeks of the season, what do we want to
Mm-hmm.
see as football fans? In the hunt, right? They're in the hunt right now, and they're in the hunt to be that last wild card spot or to be in a long shot, right? The division winner in the NFC West. I don't think that's gonna happen. That's why I think it's a false hope game. I think they'll probably win this game here. They'll beat the Panthers, but I don't expect them to win the next couple games, and then I think they'll be eliminated then. So I'm going with the
So
Cardinals
you're
here.
picking the Cardinals?
Yep.
All right. Danny, Scramble Gamble is gonna make you pull out your hair because he's gonna lose to the daunting Carolina Panthers.
I can't wait to hear Arizona sports radio on Monday
If they lose,
if they lose. Yeah, they're gonna fire everybody.
that'd be wild. Yeah, it'd be crazy. It might be. But yeah, this is another one. Like, because Carolina, just like the Giants, except for last week Carolina would compete with they compete with the damn Eagles to the wire, right? So I mean,
Hmm.
they have pieces and chances to figure it out. And going back to Cooper and Jalen Hurts, Scramble Gamble scrambles like Jalen. So they were more equipped to battle that than they were, because they have a scrambling quarterback than a pocket one, right? So this is beneficial to them that they practice with a scrambling quarterback, so now they can go after a scrambling quarterback, and I think that'll help them.
Yep. We'll see what
The
happens.
next
But
the next one, Danny. I mean, we both are going for the Lions at this point, just so like the Eagles don't get the one seed, and it'll get you a better draft pick, right? I mean, let's just be fair.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it there. That's
uh,
exactly what I want.
right. So
I
yeah, both
want
picking the Lions.
I want losses, and I want Caleb Williams to develop. Right. I want him to look better. He hasn't looked
Right.
that good these last couple of weeks, but hopefully, he looks good this game, and they lose by 3 points. I hope they don't lose by 3 points or a touchdown because they ran out of time this time. But hey, I'll take whatever I can get as long as it's a better draft pick.
Danny, Troy Aikman, I love that he's so upfront about things, right? Especially with his commentating and life. Like, Troy Aikman's
Yep.
always been like, that's why he was a champion, because he's raw in your face. He's going to say what's on his mind. And he says, Caleb, or any quarterback that doesn't want to get hit, is not going to take the sack. And sure enough, that game said it all. He scrambled all the way to the left to throw it far right side of the field just to get his ribs crushed because he held the ball way too damn long instead of just throwing it out. Caleb needs to learn to not get killed, or else he's going to be another Kyler Murray. He's going to be another guy that's waiting to get on the IR. Like, it's so dumb that he did that. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, why do you want to get killed? Like, live to fight another. Like, your value is how long you stay on the field, right? So, like, if
Hmm.
you're going to get beat down, you're not going to be on the field a lot, especially going forward. So, yeah, he needs to learn to, like, not do that.
That's the thing I don't understand, and it's so frustrating as a Bears fan because if you look back at the game against the Packers, I think that's when it first started, where we saw Caleb just throwing the ball within like 2 seconds, and he was probably the most successful during that 3 game span against the Packers, the Vikings, and the Lions than he was any other time of the season, and that's when he lost his offensive coordinator right after we fired Shane Waldron, and then now it's kind of like even though we have elevated his offensive coordinator to now our head coach, he's still reverting back to the things that was making them unsuccessful, which was holding onto the ball, trying to make big plays happen, and they need to just be quick with it,
Right.
right? They need to make it more efficient, and that's how he's successful. So they need to revert back to that. And if that's not the case, then you're going to see that. You're going to see Caleb Williams being sacked a ton of times because his offensive line can't block for that long. And so it's just frustrating to watch. But hopefully this week they'll revert back to that time frame and be more successful. But I don't know. I don't expect that to happen, honestly.
Where's Brick Griffin when you want to talk to him? Remember in Gabe's birthday before the draft, and Chris was like getting mad at me because he's like, "Oh, that's a dumb analogy. Like he won't get injured or he won't put himself in jeopardy like these running quarterbacks." I was like, "Dude, if you scramble enough to make big plays and not give what the defense take you, you're gonna get hit. Also, it doesn't matter if you run 10 yards straight up to get a first down. If you're scrambling in the pocket or outside the pocket, it's the same thing. If you hold the ball too long." And that's
Yep.
exactly what's happening. He's getting his ass beat, and then what happens if you're not there to play next year or whatever because you're getting injured because you're getting your ass beat?
Yeah. You're not developing, and that's what you need.
So exactly, man. So the next game too, Denny, is just like who wants to lose more? I mean, like Ditch Rich after he got benched has. I mean, I'll give it credit because he's actually stood up, manned up, and was like, you know what, it was my bad.
I was
It
wrong.
was I was
Yep.
the reason why I got benched. Yeah, I was wrong, and he's been playing a lot better. And I'll give him
Hmm.
credit when credit's due, right? And the Titans are just without Pollard. I mean, they have no offense right now. I mean, they Will Levis is going to get benched again. So I mean, they might draft a quarterback again, or they might even go after the Kirk Cousins wagon because like it is so bizarre that Will Levis has thrown so many picks and just this doesn't. I mean, I don't know. Like Caleb likes to get hit, and then Will Levis is like, you know what? Let's make things interesting. Let me just throw it
Ugh.
in the air and pretend everything's a hail mary. And it's like, yeah, like he just pretends everything's a hail mary. Like, no, bro, just take what the defense gives you. Like, what are you doing? And yeah, Ditch Rich is gonna win again, Danny. Like he's looking good.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And they were being really competitive against the Broncos. Like they were tough to stop until momentum shifted right when
Danny, they
Jonathan
would have
Taylor
won the
dropped
game
that
if
ball.
he didn't fucking fumble.
Yeah,
They would have won. It was like 19-7 at that point or something, and they would have whitewashed the Broncos.
momentum. Good
They
old
lost all
momentum.
momentum. Yeah, exactly. They lost all. Aaron Boone, let's send out the pitcher that hasn't pitched in 6 months and see if he can, get us out of this grand slam. You're a fucking idiot. You just give him all the momentum. And same thing with the Colts and the Broncos. He fumbles and then that's it. All the momentum went to Denver, dude. And then they
I feel for
destroyed them. Like that was the
yeah.
most bizarre thing.
Yeah, they scored what 19 points
But yeah, I
unanswered after
think they
that or something like that.
yeah, it was like it was like yeah, 40-17 or 40-20 or some shit like that. Like they just destroyed them after that. That was so weird. But Danny, who do you got? The Colts or Titans?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna go with the Colts here. I don't expect big things from the Titans. Although Mason Rudolph has looked better than Will Levis at quarterback, but I still think that the Colts, being at home, their defense is pretty solid at times. So I expect the Colts to win.
He Levises the ball every time. He's just like, oh, Levis the ball, let it go.
Yep.
And it's so weird that he just throws picks, and then he does those mayo commercial. Have you seen his mayo commercial? It's like mayonnaise commercial.
Hey, he's pretty flexible. I'll give him
Oh
that.
my god! I'm like, dude, worry about winning instead of looking all pretty, you dumbass. Like, let's win. Let's win first.
He
All
should
right,
be in
Danny. The Los
Bloodsport.
Angeles Rams, the New York Jets. Bolo
Oh
Yang.
man.
But does New York come back to reality and say no, your one win is nothing and you're done,
Yep.
or do they actually get 2 wins here and upset the Rams?
I think the Rams win the division. I think they've played good enough the last couple of weeks, even though it was a low-scoring game on Thursday night. Um, I think the Rams will they'll win pretty maybe by like 10 points, 13 points. They'll win by a little bit. So I think the Rams, man,
Nice.
they'll they'll be able to pressure Aaron Rodgers and make him make some mistakes there. We I mentioned this before. I think the Rams have a really good pass rush and they're young and they're gonna get to him. And then Puka on the other side, yeah, Puka Cup had no catches, which is very surprising. So I don't think that continues this week. But I think they're just a better team overall, and I expect them to win here.
Well, Danny, I guess you're on the wagon now with me. I said the Rams would win the division. Pardon.
You were right. You were right.
And seems like the damn tower seems like the damn tower is messing up again. My internet's like glitchy again. But we're
I
get, we're getting through this. We're getting through this. But yeah, the Rams look like they're the team that's destined. All right. So the next game is very interesting. It could hurt a team to try to push for the number 1 seed, or it'll hurt the other team's chances to even make the playoffs because a few other teams are in the hunt. So, the Washington Commanders, Danny, or the Philadelphia Eagles, who wins this game and why?
I got to give the Eagles credit. I was pretty harsh on them last week. Um, saying that they're not consistent in both, or not consistent. Consistent is not the right word. I said complementary. They're not a complementary football team on offense, and they showed it last week. They could be that, right? I don't know if it'll continue week over week, but I mean, Hurts was passing that ball, and that's what you want to see. Saquon Barkley, he's gonna run. He's gonna run hard. He's gonna get those big runs. Those, probably get a home run touchdown like he has been doing recently. But yeah, no, I think the Eagles will win this one. I just think they're a better team than the Commanders, but it's gonna be close. It's not gonna be a shootout or a blowout, I should say. I think the Commanders will keep it close, and they know each other very well. So Dan Quinn will have them ready to go. But yeah, I think the Eagles are just the better team here in this matchup. What do you say?
I want to go for the Commanders, Danny. Like I really do. Like for my Godfather, and like I mean, they're a Cinderella team this year for sure. But the Eagles have been beating them up, just like the Cowboys have been beating them up for a long time now, right? And I just think
Mm-hmm.
history will repeat itself just for that factor. Like I just think that they have Commanders' number, and they're gonna beat them again, and then be 2-0 against them this year, and then Commanders are gonna be reeling because that's gonna bring in a few teams within a game away to get that last playoff spot to
With 2 games left.
make. So yeah, it's a dire it's a must win game for the Commanders, but I don't think they have it in them to win it.
I gotta agree with you there, buddy.
Man, the next game, it's like the Browns are the Browns. They've strung up some wins, Danny, but it's still not pretty. And
Yeah.
I guess I'm just gonna go with the home team, just because I trust the home team at this point, even though they're both lackluster and can't be trusted. I'll trust the home team before I'll trust the away team in this ball game. So I'm gonna go with the Bengals here.
I agree with you here. Although the Browns benched, I think they benched Jameis Winston, right? They think DTR is going to be playing this game. Um, so I don't know if
Yeah,
DTR will elevate them any further than Jameis Winston, but I think the Bengals right now just have a better offense. I think Jamar Chase is rolling and has that really good chemistry. Heck, even Burrow has good chemistry right now with Higgins. So yeah, I just think they're a better offense, and they might keep it close because of the Browns' defense, but I still expect the Bengals to win.
right. And it's a division game, so it should be close. They know each other. Um, this next game, woo, it's gonna be a massive implication of what's gonna come for the playoff seeding. One is at this point fighting for the number one seed, which is crazy because we would have never thought that going forward. Uh, before the season started, you and I didn't even have the Vikings on the damn map,
I know.
and here we are saying that they might push for the number one seed. I think they're gonna keep this train rolling, and I think they go into Seattle and knock out the 12th man, and they beat Seattle also.
Yep, and I think this is where I told you, right? The Rams win the division because of this game. I think the Seahawks are good, but they're going up against probably one of the best teams in the NFC, and it's going to be hard for them to overcome that, especially with Geno Smith, hurting his ankle, I believe. Was it his ankle or knee? I can't recall. But he got hurt late last week, so that doesn't bode well for them. And the Vikings have an unreal pass rush, so it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Seahawks to really compete in this game, and I expect the Vikings to win here as well. CNN. Do you hear me, CNN? I don't think you do. What is going on with your internet, bro? Hello? All right, I think we lost Jay. I don't know what's going on with him. I see him blinking, moving.
What the heck?
I don't know what is. Can you hear me? No?
Yeah, now, like, man, it was like that whole segment right there with the Seahawks and Vikings were just like intensely like it was like I felt like I was playing a video game and it just like froze.
You look like a video
But
game.
yeah,
You're like this.
yeah, I was like, Danny, where you at? What happened? What's going on? But now,
Well,
yeah, someone's ankle and knee. I heard that too. Someone's injured.
yeah,
Yeah,
Geno Smith.
I'm
But
taking the
basically, I said
Vikings,
the.
and I guess obviously you're
Yeah, I am too. You are right there, brother.
okay. Cool. Man, yeah, that was wild. I was like, dude, what is it's a massive glitch right now? What is going on? But yeah, let's just get through this day because like obviously something's going on with the Wi-Fi tower, something around here because it is not working right now. Um, but so the Patriots and Bills, Danny, that's gonna be a game that is just gonna be so one-sided. It's not even gonna be fun for a lot of people.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's karma time here. This is a long time coming for Patriots fan that
Uh-oh.
had been dominated Buffalo Bills for so many years during the Tom Brady era. Now it's time. It's the Bills' turn to return that favor, and I think it's going to be
Be
a
the
blowout
bully.
here. Yep,
Be the
bully ball,
bully.
and I'm happy to see that they deserve it. So good job, Bills Mafia. Enjoy this moment. Honestly, Bills need to be excited because they can be competing against for that number one spot, like I mentioned earlier in the episode. But yeah, I think the Bills need to continue winning, and they need to hope for Kansas City to lose a couple games here, and they'll have the
Right.
tiebreaker.
Yeah. Bills all the way for sure. Like this one's not even gonna be close. And Danny, woohoo! The next game, it's gonna be who's fighting for number one pick, Danny. Woo! Who's gonna get it? Is it the Raiders or the Jaguars? Who do you got, Danny?
This is going to be the Travis Hunter sweepstakes, right? Is that what you're saying? Whoever wins here or whoever loses gets him.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think Jacksonville, man. Jacksonville has looked good these last couple weeks, and Mac Jones has really, looked pretty well as their starting quarterback. So, the Raiders not having a quarterback has hurt them all year long, and I've told you that since the season started. But I think Jaguars will win.
Right.
I'm excited to see what Mac Jones can do. The rookie receiver in Jacksonville, Brian Thomas Jr., is a stud. He's proven his worth, and I think that he's just going to elevate even more from here. So I expect the Jags to win
For
this game.
him having for him having a crappy team, he's top five in every wide receiver stat. Like, think about that. Like
That's
that
crazy,
dude's
right?
balling. Right. And his team can't even get him the damn ball. He's doing that. So sheesh. He was like Megatron. Remember that one year Megatron just went off and the Lions were just horrendous? Like that was a
Yeah,
wild year, but man.
he's a bright spot for
Um
sure.
Danny, I what if the okay, so we're talking about Pierce, right? Is it fair for him to even like I think he has to get at least one more year to see if he gets a fair shot to actually have a good team. But if you look at it, the offseason, just like Jerry Jones taking this year with no free agents, I mean, you bring in Gardner Minshew, which is a quality, tier B, backup quarterback, maybe start you a few games or whatever. But there was nothing there to tell you that him or O'Connell would be the answer. So were they tanking for Shooter the whole time? I mean, it seems like it because they had a potential to go get Kirk Cousins or anybody in the free agent market, Sam Darnold, and they didn't. So you look at this, I'm like, maybe they're really trying to get that quarterback spot landed. But uh yeah, I'm gonna go with Jacksonville just because the quarterback issue. I mean, it's just sad. And you have Max Crosby there, and you're just wasting his talent. You know what I mean? Like how sad.
Well, he's hurt now. He's done for
You
the
have
year.
someone. Well, I would be too if my team was like this. I'd be like, fuck it, whatever. I broke my
Yeah, I don't blame
toenail.
him.
I'm out. They and honestly, Danny, as an organizational standpoint, they're probably sitting him on purpose just so he'll be healthy and fresher next year with the new quarterback, new regime. Like if he's gonna be there. Because I'm like, at this point, why would if he's already nicked up, why keep playing him to have him more beat up later? So I mean,
Yeah.
I get that he's done for the year. Like why are we trying to push him to his limit and then hurt him even worse? But yeah, we're both picking Jacksonville, so that's cool. Man, this next game is just who doesn't want to leave hurt? Like that's the key of this game. Who wants to leave healthier and not hurt? That's the key to this Dolphins and 49ers game. And as atrocious as the Niners have looked lately, and they can't get a bucket. Or remember NBA Jam, Danny? You can't buy a bucket. Like that's
Yeah.
exactly what the Niners are right now. And like the Cowboys look like that a few weeks back, and people, all the 49er fans were like, but it's like, dude, karma creeped on you real quick, and you guys can't even buy a bucket. So, um,
Yeah.
I'm picking the Dolphins at home.
Ooh. Well, you know what? Man,
Oof,
that's tough.
oof, oof.
Yeah, the Dolphins are hard to pick because did I have them last week?
They
Yeah, I
are.
did have them last week. I had them last week, and I expected big things
Yep,
from
and they
them,
lost,
and
right?
they lost to the Texans. But man, the 49ers are banged up. But I honestly trust the 49ers offense more than I do the Miami Dolphins offense, and I don't understand why. I don't I don't understand
What?
why Tyreek Hill is not having the major impact like he was last year or the year before that. So I got to give the
You
Niners
know what?
the edge here.
You know what's crazy, Danny, is that we overlook people's outside life and things that have like hurt them and emotionally, mentally. I think the arrest of Tyreek Hill in week one in Jacksonville really hurt him emotionally, mentally, that it's not being shown in the public. Like he was embarrassed. Like he was embarrassed. Like I think it's really affected him, and it's probably affected his
Hmm.
play.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's not acting like his normal self. He doesn't have that swagger, that confidence. And I thought it was
No,
because, Tua was
he's not
missing, but
flashy. He's nothing.
yeah, you're probably right on there.
Waddle looks like the number one right now.
And he got hurt, so who knows if he plays.
Right. So yeah. Hill needs to come back to his old self, but he has not looked like it ever since basically week one. He and then what 2 3 weeks or a week after like his interview or whatever, he's like, yeah, it shook me. But I honestly think it's hurting him more just because he was like, damn, what if I really wasn't a big name? Would I have gotten killed and would have anybody cared? You know what I mean? Because he even said that
Hmm.
in his interview. Like, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? Like, would y'all even put this on the news? Would you even care? What would happen? Like, I think it's really affected him for sure. And I feel for
Yeah.
that because I'm like, damn, I don't want this to be his outcome of his falling. You know what I mean? I'd rather be his age, father time in the NFL. Like I want to see him shine out more. Granted, like he needs to stop making so many babies, but like if you have money, why not? But
If you can
like he
afford
just
to
popping
have
out
like
babies
20
left and right.
kids,
But but yeah, like he's like, I want my own football team. Real.
weak pullout game.
But yeah, it's I just hope it doesn't affect him next year, like going forward to even worse things. But Danny, this next game is we're finally gonna have these dumb delusional cowboy fans off the train. And no, let me put it out there, it's not because Cooper Rush is worse than Dak and blah blah blah. No, it's because our damn team's a train wreck because of our stupid owner. No running back, injuries on defense all year. Like this place was this it was meant to be a wreck. So it's not Cooper Rush. It's just that Baker Mayfield is way better than number four, and he would have still beat number four going into this game if it was number four like this, with as it stood. So I think the Buccaneers are gonna finally just all those delusional, hopeful fans are gonna get crushed, and I'll finally say, "Cool, can't wait for free agency so we don't get anybody else again."
So this is where it ends, right?
That's where it ends, bro. I picked
Oh man.
the Panthers last week just for like a fun upset special, but this, I mean, they're gonna whoop our ass.
I man, this I like the Bucks. I like what they're doing, and they're in the thick of things. They can't afford to lose here. But I think this is where things get interesting
Right.
in the NFC South. I don't know why, but my gut tells me the Cowboys are going to play really well at home, and they're going to make Baker
Woo!
Mayfield's life pretty miserable. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. That's just my
Oh,
gut.
honestly, it'd be cool if you're right. It'd be cool if you're right, but I just think like this is it. What they did to the Chargers in Charger land, like that was a massive statement.
But look what the Saints did to them. Was it the Saints? Who did they play? They lost the
So,
week
but yeah,
before.
hopefully you're right because that'd be kind of cool to see Cooper. Because it'd be cool to see Cooper Rush upset Baker, and I'd be like, hey, yeah, as many games as Dak, huh?
Yeah, you want to see you want as Cowboys fans, you want to have some hope in the last couple weeks of the season. So why not? Let's make it interesting here.
Right, right, right. But I want to see Cooper's Rush's record and Dak's record compared as it is right now, from like before Dak got hurt and whatever. I honestly think, Danny, that the Falcons would have lost to us if Dak would have left at halftime or even earlier. Obviously, like he got injured, and I'm not like praying that he got injured that game, but I'm saying like if he got injured earlier, I think we would have won that game because even Cooper uplifted that game because he
Yeah.
wasn't trying to do too much. He wasn't trying to do hero ball. But man, the Saints and the Packers, Danny, this game should be way better than it should be, but it's not. Like it's the Saints are just gonna massively derail this game.
Although I gotta give the interim head coach Rizzy, I believe his name is, from New Orleans. He has his team playing hard. Like I've never seen the
Right.
Saints play as
I
hard
agree.
as they are with him than they did with Dennis Allen. Um, and there was a lot of games that I thought, oh, they're gonna lose this week, and they surprised the heck out of me. They were in that game, right? So I just think the Packers, man. Although I hate to say it, the Packers just do deserve some love because the Packers, they're just a well coached team, and it doesn't matter if they have, what we consider them to be tier B receivers. Like they're making plays when they need to make plays,
They
and then
win.
Jacobs,
They win.
yeah, and Jacobs running that ball hard, man. He's probably one of the most underrated free agent signings this offseason. People probably didn't expect big things from
Absolutely.
him.
Underrated is so key.
Yeah, he deserves all the credit because he's elevated that offense even more than or I shouldn't say even more. I should say probably at the same level as Aaron Jones did. So that's what you want, right? You get rid of one running back and you get another one to replace that productivity, and they've done that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think this one's not even going to be close. Like, granted, the Saints have been playing hard, but yeah, you're going into Lambeau, and that well-oiled machine right now is just not going to take any steps back.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Man, we finally got through this. Is there a double header, or is that the only game on Monday?
That is the only one, my friend.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, man, all these double hitters out of nowhere and randomly and blah blah blah. But man, it's dude, it sucks. We were just Danny. It feels like we just did the draft, that we started this and we're hyping this and all this jazz, and we're literally 3 weeks away of the season being over, and then
I
playoffs
know,
start and the
man.
Super Bowl, and then we gotta wait again forever. Oh my gosh,
This season flew by,
stupid Jerry
and
Jones.
it's gonna be sad to not see football
It
anymore
really
coming
did.
in 2025. But at least you know what, it's cool though that we started our podcast in the off season, because now we can expect and we can have shows on free agency, upcoming free agents, talk about the draft. Like we did our live draft show. That was awesome. That was probably one of my favorite shows that we've done this year. So I'm really looking forward to the offseason because we're still going to
Absolutely.
continue that conversation and the discussion, but it's going to be different. It just sucks that it went by so fast.
We should try to plan to do the draft again together. Like that would be epic.
Yeah. I mean, it's only a 6-hour drive. I think I can
I
make it
oh, yeah, one of us has to like. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll figure it out because it's so fun. Do that again. That'd be epic.
for sure. Can't wait, brother.
And we'll be seasoned more. We'll be like, and then you could probably like you'll be probably quick enough to even just put like a name on the bottom of like like who they picked and stuff. Is that what you did last time?
No, I didn't do that, but I can do that this year. I think I have enough experience to make that happen.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like you probably could make it look legit, like real good. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is man, this day was weird. But Sammy, thank you so much for coming on our fan spotlight. It was so awesome to have you. Danny, I'm glad we're able to get through this damn episode. I don't know, something's going on with this Wi-Fi around here because it's I don't know, resetting it didn't like it helped for a little bit, but now it's back to being whack. So makes no sense.
Yeah. No, it's all right, Jay. These things happen, but at least we got through it. And again, like you said, shout out to Slam and Sammy, huge Cowboys fans. Again, if you guys haven't heard that podcast, um, check it out, take a listen, and then also she's a part of the Star We Are podcast where she does weekly podcast relating to, of course, the Dallas Cowboys each Tuesday. So if you're not following them and you're Cowboys fans, please, go ahead and give them a follow and tune into to their content as well.
Absolutely. Well, my friend, another one in the books, and next week will be better, and we'll learn more from this, and then we'll go forward. And appreciate you as always, my friend.
Thanks, Jay. We'll talk next week. Peace out, everybody.
Absolutely. Sun City Leatherheads podcast out. Subscribe, like, follow. Peace.